What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series, Duke. And so here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Duke pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Duke does come with two different firearms. We do get a long rifle, which looks really nice. I do like the detailing on it. Then we do get a smaller hand blaster, which is painted with gold and black, and that also looks really good. We do get some binoculars that do peg onto his belt, but he really doesn't hold those all too well, so unfortunately those aren't only meant for his belt. And then finally he does come with his survival pack, which looks really nice. I do like the fact that they sculpted a shovel and some cantinas on it, but other than that, Duke here doesn't come with anything else. I would have liked to see some alternate hands, but unfortunately we didn't get that. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Duke, and this is probably one of the better face sculpts that Hasbro has done for the G.I. Joe Classified line. I really do like the way that Duke came out. I really do like the face sculpt. It looks like a commanding face sculpt, but also a generous, something you want to find in a leader, and this sculpt kind of does exemplify that passive yet aggressive look that you would want in a leader. I do like the fact that they did add some scars onto Duke, like he's seen some battle. I really like that small little inclusion. And then we do have his hair, which you can see is it combed off to the side. Then we do have like a military fade right here, so that looks really good. I do like that. Again, one of the better face sculpts that they've done, and I really like the photo print that they went with on Duke here. Those blue eyes just look so nice, and really liking this head sculpt. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is actually the reissued Redeco version of the G.I. Joe Classified Duke. The original version had like bright golds on it, and this figure has more muted colors. As you can see, he has like a dull gold and silver right there. Really do like the redecos. I never was a fan of those bright golds and the shiny bits that he came with. This feels more like G.I. Joe in my book. Now, he does have a bandolier right here, which as you can see does have several different pouches, and what I can only assume would be a communicator right there. Now, if you don't want him to hold the bandolier around his body, you can remove it. Just like with Snake Eye's bandolier, it comes off really easy, so there's no popping or removing parts, so I do like that. Having a look at his fatigues, you can see they did a really nice job with this tan color. He has some green right here going up over his shoulder. Loving the sculpt work right here, and you can see there's a peg hole for all the G.I. Joe accessories that you have that do fit in that peg. I like the fact that we do have that green coming down to his shoulder. It is a little bit odd with the butterfly joint that they didn't continue the paint or the sculpt work in that. It's almost as if they intended him to always have his arms forward, but that is something to note, that if you move him around that might break up the sculpt. Here we do have a medal right there. I like the fact that they did add the little detail of his white undershirt, pouches right here on his shirt, and the buttons are sculpted really nicely. Duke does have his sleeves rolled up, which I do like that little detail. I'm not a fan of how they did it. They painted his skin tone right here, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would like to see this in molded flesh tone and then just paint the fatigue on it. You can see on his left arm we do have an elbow pad, which the right arm doesn't have. We also do have a watch and maybe a compass right here on his left arm. And then we do have some combat tactical gloves right there, almost like Snake Eyes. They're not the same sculpt, so they did add a new hand for Duke here. His survival utility belt here, you can see he has what I think is another pack of ammo. And we do have some pouches on his utility belt, which I don't like the fact that it's just straight green. I would like to see some detailing on it. Maybe some golds and some browns would have helped highlight some of those details. We do have the binoculars, like I said. They don't really fit into his hands, but they do look nice when you have them right here on the side. We have some more pouches. So overall, really do like that. Having a look at his legs, really glad that he doesn't share any parts from any of the other G.I. Joes that we've had a look at. Duke here has his own unique set of pants, which you can see he continues that dark green motif right here on the top of the pants, and we do have a pouch right here. We have another pouch right here, but it is underneath his holster, which you can see the buckle is nicely sculpted. It's not painted, unfortunately. There's no paint on any of his holsters, unfortunately, but he only has the one holster, so it's not that big a deal. Just like with Snake Eyes, really love the nylon sculpting right there. It's not actual nylon, but it is sculpted to look like actual nylon, and that's a really nice fine detail. Really do like the way it looks. It even has the adjusting strap right there, which is a small little detail that they really didn't have to add, but they did anyway. You can see his knee pads have green and silver. The original one had gold knee pads, which again, I wasn't a fan of the gold on the G.I. Joes. I think the more subdued colors look better, especially because you think of them as the military and they don't really want to stand out too much. Although G.I. Joe has one of the most lax dress codes in all of the military, so what do I know? Really do like the shin guards. Those look really nice, and they do have some almost bullet holes, but they're like rounds that didn't quite make it through the armor, so the body armor is working. Then again, we have those green straps going around his military boots, and these do look standard issue military boots, so I do like that, except instead of being black, they're brown. So overall, Duke here is an impressive figure. I do like the sculpt work. The head is one of the better ones that Hasbro has made for the G.I. Joe Classified line, which I really do like that. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Duke posed and compare to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Duke posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Duke posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we do have Duke posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we do have Duke posed next to a Classified Series Roadblock and a Classified Series Destro. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through Duke's articulation now. He does have the same G.I. Joe Classified articulation that we've had to look at in the past, which is a ball joint in the head, which does let him look up with that hinge, so I really do like that ball joint and hinge combination. He can only look down about that far, unfortunately, just on the hinge, and we don't get too much side-to-side movement, but he does turn left and right, no problem. Now, most of the head movement is going to be helped by the neck. You can see he does have a ball joint in the neck, so he can look down even more. Can't really look up further than that because the neck does start bumping up against the collar, but you can see he does tilt his head nicely, and that does move around, so really good movement there. We do have a butterfly joint here in the shoulder, which you can actually see part of his pouch is actually sculpted right there, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, butterfly joint that does move forward and back, goes out to the side right about there, which is respectable. It's all the way horizontal, goes all the way around. We do have a bicep swivel, which works pretty good. Double bend at the elbow, giving us better than 90 degrees. We do have a vertical hinge here on the left wrist. We have a horizontal on the right, and then both do rotate. He has an ab crunch, which does crunch back to about that far. Crunches forward really nicely. I do like the range of movement there. Then we do have a rotation here at his waist, as well as a ball joint, which does let him lean side to side and does help with crunching a little bit. Then we do have drop down hinges for his hips, which do let him drop down to about there. Kick out almost, actually all the way horizontal. I don't know why they have that drop down hinge. I guess it helps with outward movement, but yeah, it's pretty good on its own, so you really don't need that drop down hinge to help it. So I think out of one joint, that's one hinge that I would omit and just have a regular barbell joint right there. He does have rotation at the thigh, double bend here at the knee, works no problem. We do have boot rotation, and I do like the fact that the armor plating does attach to the boot and not to the shin. That's one thing I am happy about. Then he does have a hinge in the ankle going back and not so far forward, unfortunately, but we do have a relatively generous rocker ankle. So overall, really do like Duke's articulation here, and he is very poseable. I do like that. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Duke posed for my final thoughts, and overall, Hasbro did a really good job with Duke here. There's a lot of things I do like about it. Now, like I stated over his details, this is a redeco of the original Duke, which did have brighter colors, and he had gold instead of the gunmetal on his armor. I'm not a fan of the gold, to be quite honest. I think the gold is a little too much, especially for G.I. Joe figures. You didn't collect G.I. Joe figures for any flash. I mean, there's a lot of nice characters that they can add it to, but characters like Duke here, I feel, look better when they look a little more grounded in realism, and Duke here is a fantastic figure. I do like the fact that all his detail is sculpted cleanly. A little bit of wash would have really helped out the detail, but for the paint that we do got on him, I really do like it. Now, his weapons do seem a little bit strange because Hasbro has a no gun policy, so they can't really use realistic guns. I don't know why, but I think the high-tech guns actually work for Duke here. They still look like they're actual guns, but they're not really, so I guess that's one way to get around it. Really stupid rule, but what are you really going to do about it? Overall, I am really happy with this purchase. Duke here is a phenomenal figure and a great addition to any G.I. Joe collector. And if you are looking for the G.I. Joe Classified series, unfortunately, I have not seen too many in stores. Lady J is starting to warm pegs where I'm at, but other than that, I haven't seen any other figures. So if you are looking for G.I. Joe Classified, you will have to try online retailers such as Walmart.com, Target.com, Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or wherever else you get figures. Duke here will run you about $20, which is a standard for 6-inch figures, although I do think Hasbro is starting to increase the price of the G.I. Joe figures to $22, which they're starting to do that with every line, so that is a little bit unfortunate, but it's still a really solid release. So with that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other G.I. Joe videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.